Judge, today's case is Church Girl.
He says she's uptight and not right. She says he's laid out and liquored up. Let's see if we can figure out a way to keep these two together.
Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Lynn Toller presiding.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here today with Tanika Curry and Titus Curry. Mr. and Mrs. Curry, you have been together for 5 years, married for 4, and you have 1 child together. Mrs. Curry, you have brought Mr. Curry here seeking $40 for a broken walker. We're going to talk about that momentarily. But before we do, Mr. Curry, I'm going to start with you. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your marriage and why we're here in divorce court today?
Well, for starters, you know, my wife, she's dramatic when it comes to drinking.
She's dramatic?
Yes, ma'am. She think I drink, you know, excessively, but throughout the week, I only a few beers here and there, but on the weekend, I might turn up a little bit.
You turn up a little bit?
Yes, ma'am. And she, you know, she just takes it too far. She's religious. She's been in church her whole life. So she demonizes people who drink or smoke. So I feel like that's becoming an issue in our marriage because she airs it to all of our, you know, our family members and people like that. So I think she need to really, you know, just tone it down a little bit. Yeah, just chill a little bit.
Now, when we are moving the turned up dial, 1 is stone cold sober.
Right.
10 is lit to the gills. Where are you on any given weekend?
Occasionally I've hit an 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
But typically you're a...
Yeah, maybe, you know, 4 or 5.
You say one time he skipped paying the rent because he spent his money on liquor. Tell me about that.
He said, well, I ain't got the money. I done blowed it all on me and my friends. He's like, we gotta find somewhere else to go. And I was like, no. So I ended up working more to make the money up.
Mr. Curry, did you blow the rent money on liquor?
That's the excuse I gave her, but, you know...
What really happened?
I was really fed up with coming home and there was, you know, the house being a mess, because I was working more than she was in many places during the relationship. But I was fed up with coming home and her being there all day and nothing really being clean, the food, you know, food not being prepared. And I knew in the beginning that she wasn't a, you know, a homekeeper, but along the way when we had our daughter, you know, I felt that she would at least...
Pick up a game a little bit.
Yeah, try to participate a little bit. But I told her that, you know, we could move on because I had another plan, but she think I just blew the money. But there's been times, you know, she didn't pay at all and I paid, you know, so.
But let me ask you this, where did the money go? I understand you didn't want to go home. I understand she wasn't cleaning the house. I got that part. But what actually happened to the money? Did you spend it on liquor?
Not all of it. That's a lot of liquor. But I did have a few debts that I, you know, that I
you
paid.
paid.
Yeah.
Why did you choose to use the money for something other than rent when you know rent keeps a roof over your head? I'm not quite sure I understand your reasoning.
My goal for our marriage is to be independent, not having a slave every day, you know, to meet
ends meet, yeah.
So I'm looking for, like, in the future, maybe we get an RV. And the only way to bring her out of that psychological, you know, slave everyday mentality was to have us, you know, live in a car, get ahead on some of our debts, you know, for a couple of
Live
weeks.
in a car, did you say?
Yeah.
Wait, no. What you're trying to tell me is you're trying to get her out of the everyday slaving for money mentality by impoverishing yourself to the extent that you must live in a car. You thought that would make her want to work less?
Only temporarily, so we could meet a quota.
You know, Mr. Curry, I'm going to congratulate you. I've been on this show for 13 years, and rarely am I dumbstruck. But you managed it.
Oh.
I have never in my life heard anything quite that convoluted. Mrs. Curry, there's so much to unpack here, I don't even know where to start. So let's start with the easy thing. Do you not keep a clean house?
I feel that once you mess up, then you clean it up right away. And I feel like if a job called me in on my days off, I have no time to clean.
Right.
But I was thinking, like, before I met him, hiring a maid because I work so much.
And And she did
Well,
tell me that.
if she works so much, why don't you help clean since you want a clean house?
And you know, that's in the beginning, I told her it was okay that she didn't cook or clean. And that it was fine until she began to nag me about my shortcomings. And so she didn't understand the things that I was tolerating within her. So I had to begin to, you know, bring her memory or her vision back.
What was she nagging you about?
Drinking, first and foremost. You know, we would go in the beginning, it wasn't that bad. It was only weekends. And then it kind of led to drinking more often, dealing with her. but yeah.
Oh, she drove you to drink.
She drove me crazy. Had crazy. But,
What was she saying? What was she doing? Be Mrs. Curry for a minute and give me an example of Mrs.
why
Curry.
you drinking? Why you doing that? You know, you should be doing it. You doing it just nagging. You know, so it just kind of took a toll on me. And I would address it, you know, in a cordial manner. But in the beginning. But after 4 years of the same behavior, like I had a friend we would go visit on the weekend, and you know, his wife, his kids, me and my wife and my kid, and we would drink outside. You know, that was the time she knew what was going on the weekend. But for some reason, she would always find her way out to nag me and disturb me about, you know, drinking. You know, instead, I just think it was more so of her wanting my attention, because she's very manipulative when it comes to my attention. You know, she demonizes.
Explain that to me.
She demonizes all of my friends. You know, if it's one guy I was hanging with, my main homeboy, you know, we would kick it on the weekend, you know, and then she started telling me that, okay, he's a hoe, you know. She didn't even really know him. So, okay, if I switched to another homeboy and hang with him, the other guy, she'd say, well, you know, he's a dope dealer. You know, it was never.
It was always something. They were never good enough. Let me ask you this. You say she's manipulative with respect to trying to get your attention. If you're kicking it with your homeboys on the weekend and if she's working all the time, maybe the problem is you need to kick it with her a little bit, and then she won't be so jealous of your homeboy. Have you ever, like, put that into the equation and toss that around a bit, see if that'll get you anywhere?
I did, but it really didn't. That's not the explanation, because I'm with her Monday through Friday, every day.
Mr. Curry, I'm gonna throw this out here. You don't have to respond if you don't want to. But since you're the only person she's been with, you're the only instructor she's had. So where have you fallen light on that? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Mrs. Curry, what do you think about the time and the attention that the two of you give to one another? Do you think he spends too much time with his friends and not enough time with you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Give me an example of how a week goes that makes you feel abandoned.
When he just say, like, on my days off, I be wanting to do something like go to the movies or whatever, then something comes up and it's like, oh, plans change. Like if his homeboy call and say, oh, I'm throwing this cookout, boy, come on over. And he's, oh, Rennie, I can't go with you.
Let me ask Mrs. Curry, and I want you to take an objective look at this. Are you fun to be around when he's around you? I mean, or is it always you telling him about his deficiencies? Because that'll keep a brother out the house faster than anything.
I try to be fun to hang around.
You do?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, you're not a chit-chatter, are you, Mrs. Curry? That's all right.
Chit-chat. Let's get into the chit-chat.
You want to get into chit-chat?
Yes,
what about
ma'am.
the chit-chat, Mr. Curry?
She's always on the phone with her church members. He was drunk again. You know, he was drunk again. I think there's you can share some things, but if people don't have your best interest in mind, your home, you know, you shouldn't always tell them what's going on within the home. You know, and she's really young. I understood she was really young, you know, and we developed.
How old was she when you two
it was about
married?
26. She was 26.
26.
I think, and I was like, what, 31?
26, not that young.
Well, yeah, it ain't been it's young if you're green. You know, and
Gotcha.
she's been really green along the way.
She was inexperienced.
She was a virgin. She was a virgin when I met her.
Uh-huh.
You know, unexperienced in a lot of areas. Grew up in the church. I understood that. You know, I was actually celibate about 7 years before I met her. I met her. I really had given up on the thought of marriage, but I met her and I was like, well, you know, hey, it's a possibility. I can give it a shot.
Ooh, wait a minute.
You know.
Wait a minute. What about her made you change your mind about that possibility of marriage? Because this is a good thing.
The chasteness that the possibility that a woman would, keep herself for the love of her creator was very attractive to me. At the time.
Is that it?
Yeah. And it was more. That ain't it.
You had me all excited, Mr. Curry. I thought I was going to have a moment where I could turn this thing around. You were going to tell me how intelligent, funny, pretty. No, she just was a virgin, so that was cool.
Well, I think all the other stuff, the values and stuff, all that comes along.
That she was a good church going.
Yeah, all that comes along with that. But that means a lot these days.
But you don't like it now that you're with her.
I mean, she don't really, I started out, but she don't really like the bedroom kind of, I need her to kind of, because I'm from the streets.
You know you like it.
I'm from the streets. You see me? I'm from the streets.
But now, Mr. Curry, I'm gonna throw this out here. You don't have to respond if you don't want to. But since you're the only person she's been with, you're the only instructor she's had. So where have you fallen light on that? I mean, you know what I'm saying? If she don't know what to do, maybe you didn't.
Well, I've tried along the way, but I've taken into consideration, because she told me in the beginning she don't like smoking. And I started smoking, socially as I drink cigarettes occasionally. And I think that's a turnoff for her.
I think you need to learn how to live your life, especially now that you have a child. And you have to do so as a mature woman who understands what needs to happen and is willing to learn and grow and be better than. If you would like your case to be heard on divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com. Missed the show? Watch full episodes on our streaming platforms, and for exclusive content, go to Apple TV. Tell me what you think's going wrong at your house.
I think that when we first met, he said, I like to cook and clean. And I was like,
cool, you can, right?
Yes, Your Honor. And then we got to a point to when we didn't have a child, everything was so organized. And then it got to a point he just got into the I don't care mode. So I was like, you don't care no more, and I just felt like I shouldn't care either.
Well, if she's not going to assist and help out, why should I continue to put forth effort? Because it don't really take a lot of effort to pick up behind yourself. You know what I mean? If she's not going to assist me and help out at the house, and I'm working too, don't try to feed the narrative that I don't work. Sometimes I'm out, because I'll leave a job sometimes because I believe you should know your worth. But, if she's not going to help out, I just began to grow discouraged, as I am at this point. That's why, we seeking your assistance today.
Let me ask you this, because I'm always interested in me. Everybody's discouraged and unhappy. Did you ever sit down and discuss, not fuss, discuss what was distressing to the two of you? Did you ever sit down now, baby? This is going a little bit over. If you could just, things would be a little better. You ever do that?
And that's why it's discouraging, because we've had those talks.
And it didn't work out?
It didn't work.
Did you have those discussions?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what came of them?
He would say he gonna change and do this and do that. It didn't ever happen.
Well, since I can't figure out what's going on between the two of you, I have your sister on the phone, Ariel Curry. Ms. Curry, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. When you look at this union, what do you see?
I see a nut and a fruitcake.
Can you expand on that a bit for me?
I mean, I told my brother when he first met her that she is way too immature for you. You can't fix what's going on up there. I mean,
Is it your contention there's not enough going on up there with Mrs. Curry?
Oh, yeah. That's very much so. He used to bring her around to the gatherings, family gatherings and whatnot. And she would run around screaming, King Dingaling, chasing them with the kids running around. I'm like, Tanika, stop saying this.
I think it's more so she ain't really, she don't know the code because she, like I said, she's been in the church her whole life.
Right.
She has a lot of great attributes about her, but the things that are very serious when it comes to street code and ethics, she don't really quite know.
She doesn't get.
And that's my family. We kind of from that. So, I've tried to train her along the way, but some of the mistakes can't be overlooked. If you put somebody in jeopardy when it comes to those type of things. But,
Okay.
yeah.
Ariel, I'm gonna call you Ariel because there's a lot of Currys in here. Do you have anything else you want to say that you think I ought to know when I get off the phone with you and talk to your brother and your sister-in-law?
Tanika, you need to pay more attention to that baby because we at the family gatherings and you worry more about him than you was about your baby.
All right,
And
thank you, Ms. Curry. We appreciate your commentary and taking the time to speak with us. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
At the cost of my sanity, I am going to now discuss the $40 you want for that walker he broke. Tell me what happened.
He had been drinking that night, late that night, and he wake up and he had a hungover. He just
And he fell on the walker.
over and broke it. Like the thing went down. Yes,
Can I say this to you, Mr. Curry?
Yes, ma'am, absolutely.
Women are people. We're not a resume, and we're not what we didn't do, or we're not, a description out of a Bible. We're people.
Right.
And you've got to talk to women as people. You got to know their personality, their heart, their passion, all the things that make them people, because you're going to marry a person, not simply, oh, she's chaste, let me do this, and then let me form her into what I want. That's not how it works. So when you move forward in life, look at women as if they are people and be discerning about who you marry. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Mrs. Curry, you're going to have to grow up. I don't think that you can just stay in the church and not learn everything else that you need to do. The church teaches you how to live a life.
Yes, ma'am.
And I think you need to learn how to live your life, especially now that you have a child. And you have to do so as a mature woman who understands what needs to happen and is willing to learn and grow and be better than. You with me? You can't just stick with who you were. You always got to be just a little bit better.
Okay.
No matter what happens, Mr. and Mrs. Curry, always love that child and always be in that child's life and treat each other with the respect that the mother and the father of that child deserve. You with me?
Yes, Your Honor.
There will be no recovery in this matter. It is so ordered.
She has some good advice for you.
Oh, yeah.
What's your reaction to hearing what she had to say?
I think she gave some good insight, like she always does. My wife needed to hear that from somebody, who understood her position. I think she was balanced. She wasn't biased. I think we both learned a lot here today.
So what's next for you?
I don't know. We're just gonna let time, let it play out. I think really the best case for us maybe to, try it out from 2 different homes. But we'll see how that goes.